Welcome back, folks. This is Shane. What you're looking at right now is the Christmas present I got myself. This is the Rodecaster Pro. This is a podcast studio in one. Now, over the years, I've been recording many different ways, including using audio interfaces. I've got a Steinberg UR22 MK2 on the desk here. I've also got a Zoom R16 multi-track recorder that has 8 XLR inputs. That's more aimed, I guess, at people recording and producing music, but I've used it on this channel a whole lot of times. But a lot of the pots are starting to go scratchy, and spraying them and cleaning them made no difference. So I thought this year I'm gonna get one of these and I should be done for a very long time. Now, I wanna give a shout out to one of the YouTube channels that's fantastic. He's got a really great deep dive review of this. Today I'm gonna do an unboxing, and then later on I'll do a deep dive review. But check out Tom Buck on YouTube. He's got a really great channel. I highly recommend checking out his stuff if you're into this sort of thing. And also subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty of microphone comparisons, reviews, all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna open this up, take a look and see what we get. And I want to thank Tom for making really useful videos, and it's great to hear someone with a good voice. You know, like some of the people that review microphones, they make you want to blow your ears out, and others like booth junkies, amazing, you know, great voice. There just should be more guys like that out there. I'm not saying I got a good voice, by the way, but yeah, Tom, it was a pleasure to watch your videos, mate, if you ever watch this, so thank you. All right, let's get into it. First up, we get a quick start guide that's actually really useful. Lots of visual aids on there, lots of photos and diagrams showing you how you can hook it up. I think that's really cool, especially if you've never used something like this before. We also get a key features sheet as well, showing us what everything does, and it's all numerically laid out on the front, and it also shows you everything on the back of the unit as well. Included, we also get an update procedure guide as well, which is something I'm going to do to hook this up. Odds are it's probably already got the latest firmware, but I'll see what that experience is like hooking it up to my Apple Mac. Included, we get a USB cable. It's USB-C to USB-A, so we can use it to hook this up directly to the computer and update the firmware. We'll try that in a moment. We also get a power supply. Included, we also get a handful of these different cards so we can label any of the sound effects that we store within the big pad buttons on the top, and I'll show you more about that later. All right, here's the Rodecaster Pro. My first impressions is it's a little bit lighter than I was anticipating, but that's not a bad thing. It feels very secure on the desk. It has rubber feet underneath to stop it from sliding around. And as you can see, it's angled down, so it makes it easy not only to see the screen, but to see everything. If it was flat, it would be way harder to see the screen, so I'm glad they've got it angled like that. In terms of the experience using the sliders, they feel pretty solid. There's not a lot of play in them, which is good. They sort of rattle side to side a little bit, but nothing too bad there. These pads feel amazing. They almost feel like there's no play in them at all. So I'm interested to see how these respond. Record button at the top, headphone controls at the top. You can hook up to 4 different sets of headphones. And that's obviously a master out to your speakers if you've got this hooked up to, say, some studio monitors. On the back of the device is where we hook everything up. I'm gonna do a deep dive review on this, but we just wanna set this up and see if we can get started with minimal stuffing around. So here we go. Now, while this hasn't been used, it's a little on the dusty side, which is kind of strange, but yeah, it definitely hasn't been used. I can tell by the piece of plastic that's over the actual screen here. So other than that, it's in pretty good nick. Let's turn it on. And it lights up on the screen here. It says Rodecaster Pro. One of the best things about this, and you can see from the overhead shot here, is just how color-coded everything is. I actually saw one of these in a shop. I mean, I've watched, obviously, the videos on YouTube, but I saw this in the store in a dark room and I went, wow, this is great. Everything's so easy to see. I dig it. So we've already got it hooked up. Now I'm gonna hook up a couple of Rode Procasters, which I've just modified, and I fixed the plosive issue with them by filling in the cap here with an additional piece of foam. If you missed that video, I'll link it up in the cards and you can check that out, because that's probably the only complaint about the Procasters is that little bit of plosiveness that's inherent within them. So we're gonna hook this up to that directly. We're also gonna try it with an SE Dynamite as well, which is usually required. This can push these microphones, but whether or not it's as good with or without the SE Dynamite, I guess we're gonna find that out right now. And then come back, I'm gonna do a full deep dive review, but let's see how it sounds. While we do this audio test, I'm just going to talk about the setup process and the current setup I've got going on right now. So getting this out of the box and hitting record couldn't be more simple. So props to Rode for getting the user experience right. You simply plug in your microphones, plug in some headphones and an SD card on the back, hit record, and you're basically in business. All you have to do is make sure that you've got the slider currently active on the channel that you're talking into. Now, I've just tested this off camera, and as you can see in the back of this, I'm connected via an SE Dynamite, which is an inline preamp giving the microphone up to 28 decibels of clean gain. So I much prefer the sound of this, and I'm going to show you, I don't know if this camera over here is going to show you or not, but if it doesn't, I'll explain what's going on. So if we go to channel 1, I've currently got the level of the microphone set to 15, which is really quite low. Channel 2 is set to 37, and it doesn't sound anywhere near as good in my opinion. It sounds far more boxy, far more boomy, and they've done a good job trying to get the best out of the microphone, but these are notoriously gain-hungry mics, and so are Shure SM7Bs. Of course, you can still use it with this, but have a listen again to the clarity difference. So the level on this channel, this microphone is set to 37, and on channel 1, it's currently set to 15. I think this sounds much, much better. I'm not going to be using this device without an SE Dynamite, and I'm set to the condenser microphone preset in here. I think it sounds far better to my ear. It sounds fuller, it sounds less processed, and I still have the same effects on both channels. So let's take another listen. This is the other microphone. So it still sounds good, but you're going to lose the voice a lot more just by moving away from the microphone or even turning and talking away from it, as you would with this one. Now, that might be a pro or con depending on your particular situation, but I much prefer this. So I think overall the audio quality of this thing is great. What I'm going to do, I'm going to connect a whole lot of different microphones to this, and we're going to see how they sound with and without an SE Dynamite. We'll also try some condenser microphones, and then we'll do a full deep dive review after I've had a month or so with it. So don't forget to subscribe and click the bell if you want to find out about this. Links will be in the description below. Thanks again. Catch you soon. See ya.